Hey guys, my name is Mr. Crocker, and today we are going to talk about the legislative branch. So, you might already know that the legislative branch is one of the three branches of government. Okay, so our federal government, what we're talking about, although it's the same at the state level, our federal government is the whole, and in that whole, there is the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. And so today we're just going to focus in on the legislative branch. So now I'm going to show you my screen. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about it so that it's not just nothing. Okay, here we go. So the legislative branch, the legislative branch. The legislative branch is made up of two houses of Congress. The first is called the Senate, and the second is called the House of Representatives. The most important duty of the legislative branch is to make our laws. The laws are written, discussed by both sides, and voted by in Congress. So that's a little bit confusing, maybe. And so inside of the legislative branch, there are two different parts. Okay, there's the Senate and the House of Representatives. And together, those two groups write laws and vote on laws. Okay? So, the Senate and the House of Representatives write and vote on laws. Now, next paragraph. There are 100 senators in the Senate, 2 from each of the states. The senators are elected by their own states and serve a 6-year term. The Vice President of the United States is the head of the Senate. The Senate approves nominations made by the President to the Cabinet, the Supreme Court, the federal courts, and other important positions. Okay, so there was a lot of important information in that paragraph. So first of all, we're talking about the Senate. Okay, in the Senate, each state gets 2 senators and 2 from each of the states. And that's really important because of something called the Virginia Compromise. So this is a system we came up with that balances power between the really big states like California and the really small states like Vermont and Rhode Island. So if you have 8 million people or 200,000 people, you have the same 2 senators. Okay, and that's important in our government, that the small states have an equal voice in the Senate. Okay, the Senate does some other things. They approve nominations. So our president, he gets to pick some people. Okay, our president right now is getting to pick a Supreme Court justice. Okay, because Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. So because of that, he gets to pick a new one, but he can't just pick whoever he wants. The Senate has to say, yeah, okay, we're okay with that choice. Okay. Third paragraph. There are 435 representatives in the House of Representatives. The number of representatives each state gets is based on the population or number of people in that state that live in that state. Representatives are selected by their states and serve a 2-year term. The Speaker of the House is elected by the representatives. The Speaker of the House, elected by the representatives, is considered the head of the House. So this is different than the Senate. In the Senate, every state gets the same 2. So that means every state has the same amount of power in the Senate. In the House, the big states have more representatives. Okay, so like California and Texas, New York, states that have a lot of people are going to have a lot of representatives and a lot of votes. So they can pass laws that are better for big states. But when it gets to the Senate is different, right? In the Senate, the big states and the little states have the same amount of power, so it has to get passed a bill something that is going to become a law has to get past both groups. Okay, paragraph 4. Both groups in the Senate and the House of Representatives elect a leader. The leader of that party, the leader of the party that controls the Senate or House of Representatives is called the majority leader. The other party is called the minority leader. Okay, so we have parties in our government. Okay, we have a two-party system. We have Republicans and Democrats. If there are more Republicans in the Senate or in the House, then they become the majority. If there were more Democrats, then they would become the majority. And whoever has fewer is the minority. Okay? So like right now in the Senate, there are more Republicans. So there's a senator named Mitch McConnell, and he is the majority leader because there are more Republicans in the Senate right now. But that could change the next time we elect senators. Okay. So that was the story. Now, the second page of your assignment looks like this, and we're just going to put some important facts here. So, the legislative branch. What were some important facts? I think one very important fact was that they write and vote on laws. Okay? So, and when I say they, I mean both groups, Congress, okay? The legislative branch as a whole writes and votes on laws, okay? That's what they do. Now, what's another important fact? Well, we could talk about how we have two groups here, okay? So there's the Senate. And in the Senate, okay, so we could start with that. In the Senate, each state has two people, or really two votes, two representatives, okay? So California, two people. Rhode Island, two people. Montana, two people. Every state has two people. Now, it's not that way in the House, right? In the House of Representatives, votes are given, I guess I should say representatives. Each representative has one vote. Representatives are given by number of people. Okay. And you know, I'm gonna look this up right here, right quick. Okay, so representatives by state. And then I'm going to just going to transfer you over to a new window so that I can show you what I'm talking about. We'll just go entire screen. Okay, so now you're going to see everything. So in the House of Representatives, a state like Alaska that doesn't have very many people has one representative, one vote. California, a ton of people, 53. Okay. Kansas, 4. Oklahoma, 5. And then states that have a lot of people, Texas, 36. So if a law was very good for a state like California and New York, which has 27, they're going to be able to pass that law because they have so many more votes. Okay. Okay. Now, what were some other important facts from the article? We could talk about how senators get to stay for 6 years, and in the House, they only stay for 2. Okay, so we could say senators are elected for 6 years. Okay, and we could say they're just called representatives in the House. Representatives are elected for 2 years. So there's a lot more change in the House, whereas in the Senate, you tend to have the same people for longer. Okay, when you do this page as part of your assignment, you can have different facts than what I have, but I just want you to pick 6 facts that you think were important from the text. Okay, and then I did that to show you what I want. Okay, last page. I'm not going to do this and show answers. I'm just going to show you how to do it. So you're matching the legislative branch. What is that? It's a group of people that makes the laws. Okay, and you'll match 435, the vice president, and 100. All of that information is here. Okay, choose the best answer for number 4. The number of representatives each state gets is based on what? That's in our paragraph. Okay. The first lady is the head of the Senate. Again, that's in our article. You can go back and look. Okay. At the very bottom, it says, why is the legislative branch important? I want you to answer this with a complete sentence. And you need to use part of the question in your answer. So the legislative branch is important because, and there are a lot of different answers. You could talk about how important it is to make good laws. You could talk about how they get to approve or not approve members of the cabinet and the Supreme Court. There are a lot of different answers that you could use here, but I want it to be something that comes from the article, okay, not just something out of your head. And that will be the 3rd page of your assignment, okay? So, okay, the legislative branch. They write and vote on laws. So the laws don't come from the president, they come from the legislative branch. The president just signs them. 2 groups in the legislative branch, right? Together we call them Congress. They are the Senate and the House of Representatives. The Senate is where every state gets the same, 2. The House, you get more for more people. Okay? Thanks. Have a nice day.